From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your afternoon update. Your weekend weather update is made possible by Caltrans District 2.
Hey folks, good afternoon. Hope you had a nice weekend so far. Just want to kick this off by reminding you of that fire weather warning that goes in effect until tomorrow morning, that red flag warning. That's from Redding south, goes all the way down to the northern portion of the Sacramento metro area. So we're going to want to watch that. Relative humidity is low, wind gusts are high. You know the drill. I've been talking about this over the last couple of days. Let's keep this in mind here as we wrap up our weekend and head into the first half of the week. And just because this expires Monday evening doesn't mean you shouldn't take your precautions Tuesday, Wednesday, and beyond, because I think conditions will be relatively similar, right? Maybe a little bit better, but still, I think it would just be prudent to keep that in mind as we head forward right over the next several days. Now, I do think the next several days also feature a bit of a warming trend. Notice here through today, though, we'll be in the upper 80s here through the valley, probably near 90 far south from Chico, Oroville down to Willows. So we might see some of those 90s creeping back in, but I think that's really going to be the story over the next few days, more so than it will be today. On the coast, upper 50s, lower 60s, 70s in the ring around the valley, and then out towards the eastern mountains in Plumas County, you start getting those lower 80s creeping back in. And then, like I said, I think the next few days we'll see that warming trend really take hold. And here's the culprit as to why we're a little bit cooler and we have those northwest winds. But that's not going to be long for this world, right? As we head through the rest of this week, notice this heat ridge really pushing in, building across the area, keeping us dry, keeping us warm, downright hot over the next 5 to 7 days or so. So I'll discuss that more in just a second, but first I want to take a look at your wave heights, which are not doing too bad here as we head over the next few hours. We're talking 3 to 5 foot, but they will be picking up as we head through tonight and into tomorrow. They'll be picking back up into the 6 to 8 foot range, also along the coast. So we're going to start seeing those consistent increases here as we head over the next 24 hours. Keep that in mind for your marine forecast. Now, let's take a look at the big picture because I want to talk about that warming trend. This is what I was talking about. Check out Trinity County. We'll see those 90s creeping back in terms of those lower elevations. Check it out in Weaverville, though. You can really see that trend. This is a good cross-section. 80s, 90s, blasting through the 90s, even signs of triple digits towards the end of the week and next weekend. Heading over to Humboldt County, we got along the coast some, 60s. You even get a kind of sign of that warming trend too along the coast. Notice those mid 60s starting to creep back in Wednesday, Thursday. Winds generally out of the north 15 to 20 miles an hour, but headed a little further inland and up north as well. And you can really see that too. Notice those 70s, 80s, blasting through the 80s into the 90s by Friday, Saturday. Orleans, Hoopa down to Willow Creek, you'll be in the upper 70s, lower 80s as well. Siskiyou County, very similar story, right? We're falling right in line. Through tomorrow, we're going to be in the 70s. Head a little further east past Wairika, we'll be in the upper 60s, near 70. But check out Mount Shasta City. This is a good cross-section here. You really don't last long for those 80s. You go right through the 80s and end up in the 90s by Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And of course, I was mentioning this earlier today and yesterday that's kind of the time frame we're watching for those warmest temperatures as that heat dome builds. Again, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And that trend is true for all of us. Now through tomorrow, Modoc County, we're going to be in the mid to upper 60s across the area. So we are temporarily cooling down before we go back up in terms of those temperatures. Notice in Alturas, from Monday to Thursday, you got a 20-degree temperature spread there. So we have a lot of warming up to do. And then Friday and into Saturday, you start seeing those 90s creep back in. So we got big-time warming coming up across the area. Eastern Mountains, Plumas County, you can also see that sort of trend downwards temporarily with those 70s and even upper 60s across the area. And then we're right back. Susanville, for example, over to Doyle, too. This is going to be true for a lot of the eastern areas, 80s into the 90s. Now, the valley also getting in on that cooling trend just a little bit here as we head through today. Not really too different than today. Tomorrow's going to be mid, upper 80s, maybe a few degrees cooler. But I'll tell you what, those upper 90s and triple digits are going to be taken back over really pretty quickly by the end of the week. And from Lakehead to Red Bluff, it's the same story, right? We're going to be in the 80s here for tomorrow, much like today, maybe a few degrees cooler, with upper 90s, triple digits holding steady in the end of the week. So yeah, just because we're seeing this temporary cool down coming up does not mean it's going to stick around. Of course, we're approaching the first days of calendar summer, so it's no surprise the pattern is reflecting that.